We are here to do the Divine Feminine checkup. So those of you who are new, I've got a fly scattering around me. It's a bit like the energy of what Divine Feminine's going through at the moment. Flies be bothering us. Now I'm going to try and work with this energy of the Mercury retrograde. So if the screen flickers, I'm sorry. I have tried to actually get everything set up so it's not going to become static, but we are moving into Mercury retrograde. So we have those energies happening. Now, we do have a few aspects happening in astrology that is triggering the collective. We do have Mars squaring Venus at the moment, and Venus currently being in Aries is, again, the planet of war. It's like what we're fighting for, how we're looking at things. Squaring aspects are very difficult, and it's really having to get your hands muddy. It's where you're physically looking at situations, and that squaring aspect has been for a few days now. I still have to chase my tail when it comes to the moon energy reads, and I've had clients as well. So there's been a lot of things going on in the background to prepare all the information for you guys. And I am also this month starting on already the energies of March, and I have seen synchronistic things changing. Now, we're going to do this read similar to the way we did the Divine Masculine read. And again, I'm going to try and keep them pretty short and punchy. There is a very unique energy coming through with the feminine at the moment, and I think it's really for feminines and masculines. Now, with the solar plex energy coming up, hi Dale, with the solar plex energy coming up, there is a unique kind of, yes, it could be a purge, but it's a dynamic playing out in the collective. Now, the energy of the Leo moon is very much linking in with the third eye, with the sun, which is an ego experience, but the yellow energy is also your solar plexus. Now, solar plexus links into your power, to your creativity, to your ability to make choices. And when it's blocked, we are really guided to, during this Leo full moon, it's at 20 degrees, which again, really going inside ourselves and needing to go inside ourselves. It's the external situations can be triggering an aspect of what's happening on the inside of us. Hi, Andrew. But it's, and Valentine's Day for everyone is going to be quite unique. And I was going to develop some videos, but I think I might incorporate them into the moon reading, because the way you're going to have to deal with this Valentine's Day energy is very much where you need to be looking at the aspects of the Aries in Chiron energy, but it's about, it's more the giving of love than, how do I put it? We'll get into that at a separate time, but it will be a unique Valentine's Day. It's not going to be your traditional Valentine's Day. I also had noticed that in March, when I've started doing the readings, what I do tend to do is get into the frequency to create a format and trust my guides as to how they want it to be. I'm also seeing aspects of 2018 coming through for some reason, so I'll have to look at the astrological aspects. But definitely with Juno on the 8th going retrograde, which is for me tomorrow, it is the energy of Venus. So it's like Venus going into retrograde. It's like a Venus retrograde, so to speak, with marriages, contracts, partnerships, but uniquely because we have Mars making aspects to Venus, we're looking at what we're fighting for. We're looking at, so it's like, okay, what are we fighting for? We've been working in this energy a long time. How do we deal with this? Squaring aspects are deeply conflicting, but it's almost like looking at the energy of Capricorn at the moment, because Mars being in Capricorn is all about the responsibilities. It can be about finance. It can be about government bodies, jurisdiction, legalities, and it's all those things and what they're going to mean to you. Now, obviously, because we're looking at divine feminine energy, which I've already pulled the cards, and I've pulled them in different intervals to see external, how you're sitting, how you're viewing divine masculine, and the energy surrounding them. We're trying to go through the ebbs to see external, internal, 3D, and that's why I'm making mention of the astrology. Potentially, a lot of us are going through this transformative frequency and it's deeply accountability. It's also very detached. So it's like the end stage of Venus retrograde, theoretically, because it's showing us these hard aspects before Juno's going retrograde. Juno in Libra is about marriages, contracts, partnerships, which is a Venus house. It's governed by Libra. Jupiter, masculine frequency, you know, looking at what's going on with that as well. A lot of that energy within the Capricorn frequency is like how hard they're having to work, what they're having to do, where their accountability's at, how paradigms directly are influencing the way they're moving at the moment. And with this Leo moon, it's really bringing about that. But it's like, how do we bring things to a close? How do we proceed forward? So a full moon is always a closing out of energy, but any closing out of energy is due to the fact you're trying to open a door. So whatever is coming up in your lives, personally feminine as well as masculine, because we have duality inside us, so it's always healthy to look at both feminine and masculine, and also look at it from a point of view of a person, but then step back and actually gain clarity of the mirror, which is the tools I'm going to be creating for you guys, and then step back and look at it in duality of you in your work life and your intuition life. And this fly is going to really drive me nuts at the moment. The crowning energy that you've got coming through is the King of Cups. King of Cups, okay? This is on your mind. And I was like, okay, that's really interesting. I don't know. This fly's going to kill me. Maybe I'll have to eradicate it. Bear with me. It's driving me crazy. I think this is so Mars energy. So if I turn the light off, it's going to come to the screen. Did you know that flies are attracted to light? It's a bit like, you know, what Divine Feminine goes through when she's got, you know, BS coming towards her. Now, you're tuning into the King of Cups. The King of Cups energy, don't be bothering me. See what I mean? Fuck. I had a reading the other day and was doing the same thing, and they're like, there's an orb flying, and it's like, no, it's a fly, it's bothering us. Let's get some clarifiers on this. I want to know why this King Cups energy. Look, I feel most of you are tuning into what you believe is partnership, and this, again, it can be our belief system, our third eye. It also can be, you know, where the person is transitioning to, what they're moving towards, what they're leveling up on. Hardal. And, you know, the King of Cups energy, it's your crowning energy. So you potentially might be having an intuition of how long it's going to take for this transformation to happen. Is the person in that frequency? Are they okay? And, you know, I always deeply guide you against the expectation, especially some readers. And it's, look, when I mention other readers, you need to get from the perspective I'm coming from. I've been on the journey over 20 years. So I am beyond not in my ego talking about this. I'm directly talking about it from an experience. So when I do speak about it, all your job in your twin flame journey is to do with healing. It's, you know, so when we're having a statement coming through in the collective that we need to check that a person is correct, especially when we look at aspects of the mirror, there will always be something that is going on in your life and their life synchronistically at the same time, and their patterns. So those patterns, in effect, when we're running, we're both running. We're either running towards a situation, which you never have to, because if you understand the laws of attraction, the reality is you're always going to get what you are deserving of, what you are needing, and that's yin and yang. It's good and bad. It's part of life. But when you're running towards divine masculine and the runner-chaser theory is there, when you really do pause and do the work on yourself, you actually realise at the point of breakup, both of you energetically were running. Now, it might have been you were running from something that was going on in your life and shifting the energy too heavily onto one area, which could have been divine masculine. Masculines, this could be something that's actually going on with them at the moment. Really, sometimes when we're very fixated on one subject, and again, because the nodes have been in Cancer and Capricorn, it's almost highlighting this fixated energy we've had in an area, and it becomes very imbalanced, and that's when Juno going retrograde is going to help counteract and balance that out. You find doors stop opening when a situation is imbalanced or there's a spiritual blockage. So If you're hearing a reading, always discern between what you feel is correct. Sit in the energy, even if you're getting triggered by it, even if I trigger you accidentally. It resonates within you at some level. And that trigger that comes up, don't make a decision right away. Sit in the energy and see how it directly relates to you. If a person is saying, and if you have an expectation that your twin has to come to you correct, there's something imbalanced in your life where it's becoming a requirement. And I've just seen 1010 on the clock. Many of you are looking at the reality of what it means to be a divine masculine. Some of you might be looking at it from the perspective of the person needs to do X, Y, and Z. The person has a spiritual block. And it could be even the art of looking for perfection. Also, many of you, depending on where you are in the journey, you may be looking at them as the King of Cups, that they physically have the ability. And look at the way he's meditating. I'm focusing in on the image. Look at the way he's sitting there in meditation. He's got his wand. There's the blackbird in the background. Old ships in the background. Now he's sitting there and it's like, where do I go from here? Now cups relating to, the things you're putting in. And then the energy of him, it's almost like spiritually speaking, he's floating on, it's like the 12th house energy. And I feel this Mercury energy, because masculine energy inside ourselves, it's very much the communicator in the Mercury frequency. So it's the receiver, but again, receiving the energy in order to articulate where to go from here. We're going to move further into it. Now, spiritually speaking, I feel they might be lighting themselves, bubbling themselves, being in hermit mode, meditating very much in the third eye at the moment. And the Leo moon is actually potentially making that happen. Now, the next energy, two energies came out for feminines. And this can be pertaining to the past, and the past can be playing out right now in some shape or form. The sun energy is coming through. Now, again, we do have the sun directly linking in with Leo. So inner child energy, potentially looking back at the way you used to see things versus, mate, and I'm thinking this is really connecting in with the way you're thinking of masculine. With the inner child energy, it's been coming up in two ways. It can be where you have dealt feminine with an aspect of the inner child wounds, or you're currently dealing with them right now, because it all depends on the work you've done. When it comes through, I do feel this is dual energy, but it's coming up in a different form for feminines. It is a test masculines are going through. It is a truth they are physically going through, but there will be something playing out in your life that is reminding you of that frequency. It can even be to the point where you're physically just tuning into them and wondering, if the inner child work has been done, if a family-related dynamic has been achieved in a balancing sense, and that can be them with their tribe, them with their family, them with their children, because the clarifier card is children. And again, with that chakra, it directly links into children, family, tribe, etc. The other card that came through at the same time as the sun was the Six of Swords in reverse. Now, with the Six of Swords in reverse, this is looking at things where potentially, again, with that chakra in a blockage sense, it's where we're giving our power away, where indecision was there, where conflict was there, allowing the universe to force your hand. And yes, in a way, sometimes it is healthy because some things we do have out of our control, but it feels like it's going to amp up as we move into the Leo moon, and you're going to be picking up on this frequency collectively. Some of you might be looking at something where you're thinking the power is on their side of the fence. And again, whenever that occurs, where you have control, you must change that. Where you don't, yes, universe will force your hand. But in a sense, I do feel this is you guys reflecting back to some old energies, and it could simultaneously be playing out on your side of the fence. And that's where a lot of healing is happening. If you energetically all of a sudden are balancing things out in a particular area, there will be a synchronistic pattern regardless of not seeing that person, and it will physically be playing out on their side of the fence as well. I know this to be a fact. At the heart of it, you've got the Four of Wands. You have hope in your heart But many of you might be looking at it going, this is what I need out of a relationship, which is, again, give and take, and a person handling their business, being in their own frequency. At the heart of it, what you're moving towards is a happy home, happy life. You know, you're wanting it sooner rather than later. Absolute need. You're hoping for that. But, again, it's the actions we're going to directly need to take for that to happen. And it might be something on our side of the fence. I'm going to pull a clarifier. You know, duality and the law of attraction is all about, how do I put it, being in alignment. Yeah, you're not wanting to have to think about it. You want to see the physical goods. That's where you're at in your life. If there's something you need to change, it may need to be addressed. This can be in relation to a home environment. But many of you on their side of the fence looking at them, I am feeling you're thinking, you're hoping things would pan out. You're hoping things would be different to the way they've actually turned out so far. Currently, those of you who may be in communication or other areas, or even in your own life, the way I'm saying, again, it can be really reflecting back on this conflict. Now, this is hurt, disappointment, toxic frequency, you know, ending a karmic cycle. These setbacks have prevented, at the heart of the read, duality, okay? Harmony, balance. It seems like there has been a lot of ups and downs. You're still working through it. Now, the squaring aspects in astrology is, it's a bit like saying, if you want it, you know, you've got to put the work in. Hi, Michelle. So putting the work into a situation and willing to put the work into a situation, but potentially no movement due to too much BS going on. Too much conflict, too many things going on. It could even be in their own surrounding energies, having this frequency there. And really the clarifier is judgment. And again, with Juno going retrograde tomorrow, these things are going to start cropping up because at the moment Mars is squaring Venus and Aries, and that is today. And it was yesterday as well. So Mars currently is in Capricorn. There is a contract to a degree. And again, when we do look at Capricorn frequency in the tarot, it is the devil card. It's the devil in the detail. Again, with Juno, it's linking into contracts, marriages, partnerships, legalities. The Capricorn energy also with Saturn and Pluto is linking into the beginning and the ending of stages and the accountable energy within it. But it's also at a very nodal energy. It's the transformation of those dynamics. And you know, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of accountability. And it's having to make constant judgments based on, you know, things surrounding their energy and how that will directly implicate you. What you're wanting at the moment and what you currently may be dealing with, either in a mindset way directly connected to their environment or within your own life, because it'll be both. In order to have this Ten of Cups energy, you know, needing to be ready, but needing to have this being moved towards, because it's sort of like it's bouncing. It's positive, negative, positive, negative. It's this bounce back energy inside all of us collectively at the moment, plus tuning into the direct reality of situations. And with the squaring aspects, it's almost like a Venus retrograde, like I said. You're looking at it and you're going, wow, okay, now this could get messy before it gets pretty. And that's a reality of situations. Because when you're blending connections, you're bringing in your old energy, their old energy, creating new in a new vibration, but with the old frequency of the, how would you call it, the Capricorn energy, the accountability. There could be contracts, legalities, severing of ties, finances, homes. You get my gist. There is a situation that potentially this week could crop up and you're thinking, am I wasting my time? Or every time you try to do something, there's a blocked door. Now, this could be in general. You may be feeling that you don't want your hard work to go to waste. You have done a lot of hard work, so you're being very, very cautious. Now, again, as I do tune into, and I have noticed this coming through more so in the last 3 weeks, there are splitting of twin flames at the moment where there's different pockets coming through. Now, some of you who haven't ended cycles and you're in different karmic connections on both sides. I haven't been doing readings for you guys, but the energy is coming through quite loudly because there is a shift in the collective. And especially when I tuned into March energies, I did swap it back to couples and singles all of a sudden. And I hadn't noticed this till I got to the third video. I haven't done that since 2018, and the energy has changed. So therefore, there will be a lot of communication coming through and a lot of assessment coming through. You know, a line being drawn in the sand and having to look at these situations, not about old energies coming back from the past to directly be dealt with. Now, if your side of the fence is messy and their side of the fence is messy, this can be fear-based frequency as well of, okay, well, you know, missing opportunities. And that's why it's very important to always check our side of the fence and see if everything is in balance and harmony. And it's not that we're going to be perfect, but the mastery, the self-mastery you guys work towards is to actually deal with union energy. Looking at relationships, okay? This is where you guys are at. Looking at relationships and the unhappiness of situations and what it's going to be like. And the frustration is what it's going to take to get this off the ground. And this is really what's coming through. You're seeing the potential of this person. You may be tuning into a direct individual, and it could be separate to twin flame. And you're wondering how to work through and navigate through the matrix. Now, externally, currently, you guys are looking at the actual problems. But, you know, there could be problems on your side of the fence. There could be problems on their side of the fence. It's looking at something like the veil has been peeled off. And in order to get to these dreams of the Neptunian frequency, it's having to look at the obstacles and the way, the pebbles on the path to actually have the tools. Now, yes, there are many things that need addressing. Again, I am saying, I'm going to pull 3 clarifiers. Now, one of them is, it's not going to go the way it's not going the way you thought it was. Desires. You don't want to have to take too much responsibility. You don't want to have to take too much kicks. You've had too much kicks because potentially there could be something happening on your side. Now, if you have things going on, look at the 2 ships. Both of you are in dual energy, both masculine and feminine. But feminine is in her energy looking at both sides because she has both of those scenarios playing out inside her life and she's attempting to balance her life. And it is her role to do that. Now, those of you that are in a different energy, you potentially are further back in the journey. It's not fun energy. It isn't fun. But a lot of the way union comes in is you being very non-codependent. And it's quite a unique place to be where you've been doing a lot of work on yourself. You've realized the reality of codependency and how it affects relationships. You also may be looking at it from the point of view that, you know, we can't have someone parent us. There may be conflicts where we want to have that inner child nurturing and we can be falling back into that. And it comes across sometimes as a need, but it's actually not, because when we understand and we're coming very in our own frequency of empowerment, empowerment actually isn't aggressive. Empowerment is truth. Empowerment is understanding you have tools to actually correct your life, and they're the salt and pepper. While you're in the backward state of the journey, and I'm not saying it's backwards because you can leap 20 steps forward in 24 hours. It's more from the mindset, yeah, I've kind of tuned out to it, and that's what we have to do. I did say 2017 we would need to train ourselves to be a Buddhist monk. It's where you can hone in on what is important and completely zone out of what isn't, and that's what's required. That is disconnection. That's you being detached from any outcome, but being in a reality set, a mindset of what the job will be, what would need to happen, what is your job on your side of the fence, being in your masculine, feminine energy. But again, it almost reminds me of the Justice card with the 2 hands out and the Juno energy and the 2 ships coming in and looking at. The reality is, if you're a twin flame, I'm just going to be honest with you, until you guys can grasp the concept, you can't escape the journey. Their journey is the healing. So you'll actually find, and hear me out, when you are single, if you are a twin flame, you will feel energy in general, and you will have dynamics playing out in general. So even if you choose not to be with the person who was distorted masculine or ascended masculine, you in your own life, when you're away, the further into your journey you go and you have your third eye activated, what you'll find is you will start having psychic attack, which will be a frequency where you'll be very confused. I was fine 2 seconds ago. Now the energy's coming in, because you're empathically connected. So what you've done is you've opened your third eye. You also, because you're a twin, you feel their energy in general, being an empath, but you're fine-tuning your psychic abilities, but you're none the wiser this is going on. So the tools I teach on this channel are to help you deal with that part of the journey, because once you have reached that stage, you can never go back, in a sense that you have awoken. And we'd say ignorance is bliss, and it really is. But also being out of the codependent frequency and out of your own way, you're able to achieve much more in your life, and you are moving towards a better frequency, because you are not attached to any outcome. You also are looking at situations that, you know, you'll find all of a sudden, if you place your energy too heavily on another person, your twin, etc., you will really go, oh my God, I've got a disaster happening in my life, and universe is doing you a favor. They're doing it so that you shift all your attention back onto what the 3D nature is. And when we've actually been giving our power away, which is really potentially here, while in reunion, potentially you were taken by surprise by some of the responsibilities and things going on, too much attention putting on those energies, inner child energies coming up, and then before you know it, universe comes through, has a retrograde, and it's not the retrograde does that. A chain of very unfortunate events plus a spiritual blockage that was not addressed, can be a 3D area, and then bang, before you know it, you've had a tower moment and you're in separation. And look up at the screen, 4114. 4114. The 1400. Okay. This balance, you're able to maintain that, but while we're in ego, we may be potentially looking at a situation that we're dealing with, and enabling can become a problem, accidentally so. It's like you're plonked in the matrix of a situation, and before you know it, people can become codependent on you. Then anything you were able to give then is stripped from you. And when it's stripped from you, it's because the energy of the lesson or the blessing towards that energy is removed, so that you're unable to assist that frequency for their ascension process. Is everyone following me here? Are you grasping what I'm saying? Because I get what I'm saying here, but I just want to know if you guys understand what I'm saying. So if the doors aren't opening right now, and some of your power has been taken away, you already in your life have learnt this energy to balance your Two of Pentacles, to be able to keep shop, to be able to be in accountable energy, to be able to have a trigger and then look at it and go, is this me or is this the situation? Now, the recuperation, you guys are following your intuition when it does come to this, and you're really guided to. The intuition, a lot of times people say, especially feminines, when you've had your intuition, you need not attach to it that it did wrong by you. Sometimes healing your intuition is deeply, deeply important, because your intuition will not prevent you against BS. Did you know that? It's like, if my intuition worked, I would have never been betrayed. Not true. False. Your intuition, that's a Band-Aid. Intuition gives you the hunch. That's all it's there for. Trusting it is your job. Having an outcome has nothing to do with you. Another person's actions have nothing to do with what you do. So the more you detach from that, you're not going to punish yourself, and you're going to have a better relationship with your intuition. I went through that. It was like, intuition and me, we had a divorce. We were like, no, I don't like you anymore. You shaded me. You did not step up when you needed to be there to protect me. How bloody dare you? And I was like, no, man, it wasn't my job to be thinking about another person's actions. That was not my job. That wasn't on my job. I was all sorts of ways. I was crying on the floor, and I was like, intuition betrayed me. Intuition did not betray me. Intuition told me, but intuition was not interested. Do you know why? Because another person is not your problem. Going through a person's phone, what's that going to prevent? Because your intuition told you. You go through their phone, they're going to find another way. If a person's going to shade you, they're going to do it. And that's their energy. You have no control over that. How you react to that is your job. You can be, well, I'm really sad that you felt that way because I've never expected you to react that way. That's a you problem, not a me. I'm sorry you felt that way. That's a lesson you need to learn, not me. I'm not taking my energy back there. I'm going to focus on me. So if shit happens during a time like that, what you do need to understand is you didn't have control over that. They weren't your actions, and not even about you. It's about a person feeling that they can't be uniquely themselves. Trust your intuition. When we focus too much and we're feeling lost, right? The reality is the Pisces energy is listen to what you're thinking. Listen to your thoughts right now. Mercury's about talking. Be receptive to the energy around you. What is going on? Your vibration, you are psychic. Your vibration as an empath is giving you energy. You need to listen to what it's telling you. Where is it hitting in your chakras? Is it low down in your gut like you're nervous? Are you ready to use your power with something? Now, power isn't, I told you to do this. That's not power. That's not power. That's manipulation, or that's a statement. That's healthy boundaries. But you shouldn't need to use your voice in order to make a statement. Your body language and the way you handle hurdles is your power. It's being in alignment. It's okay. Well, if that's your truth, that's your truth. This is my truth. Does it match? That's cool. And it is a lot of accountability. So, looking at your life and going, okay, a person can act however they want to act. Is there something you haven't been focusing on your life that has been falling by the wayside? And again, Mercury retrograde, is it your paperwork? Were you going to move house? Were you about to change a job? Were you about to leave a karmic partner? Wherever you are in your life in the matrix, there will always be a synchronistic pattern playing out in your life and playing out in theirs. So when you say you haven't seen your twin and you don't know what's going on with them, you are the twin. So every energy you embody is their energy. You react to it quicker and you upgrade quicker, but you will embody a similar aspect at the same time. I know, because I'm with my twin and we mirror each other through everything. It was when we were in separation, we talked about it. And there were a lot of stages in separation we went through in a mental mindset, in a 3D sense. There's also when he has a trigger, I look at my life and I now go, okay, let me jot down on a piece of paper what my beliefs are. And I will look at those energies. And I might have ego about those energies, but it's always very temporary because I'll always then look at myself and go, okay, how could similar trends be playing out in my life? And I have seen 100% healthy boundaries coming up at the moment. Ability to choose a path. Family-related dynamics, especially with the energy of the sun. And how do I put it? Sun energy is linking in with creative chakra as well, not just the third eye. So I'm saying two energies play out in the collective, third eye and the solar plexus. Now, the solar plexus are in a child, which is family, because the nodes are in Cancer at the moment. Cancer and Capricorn. So the aspects are being made in Capricorn, but they're heavy linked to that. We're all karmic. Okay, so when I say karmic, and this is why I need to do tools, I get so frustrated with some of the videos, and it's only because of the my journey and how it's happened. I didn't know until 3 years ago, 4 years now. So a lot of work in the way I looked at things. I then met a lot of spiritual healers. I looked over a lot of information that's on YouTube, and then I also picked flaws in the system that I know not to be true. While we have the karmic energy, what happens is, especially in your astrology chart, some astrologers will say if you have aspects of Pluto energy, is it a plutonic kind of like devil energy attraction? That's the external energy connected to the twin flame path. Those aspects are happening in my chart next month, but also in general with the Saturn-Pluto transit. Karmic energy, once you reach a stage, we all have that frequency at birth coming through from past lives. We enter into this lifetime. So when we're getting into the paradigm of am I the karmic? Well, how long have you been coming in and out of this connection, number one? The energy as per se, belief system. So karmic, right? Blockages in the chakra system and in our belief systems through paradigms are embedded in our DNA. You meet your twin, and you'll know they're your twin because you come in, out, okay? That's twin. You'll know, because even if you take the tag away, will it stop you thinking about that person? Then you get psychic attack energy. Then you get frequency. You get the telepathy. Don't even bother looking at your astrology. You'll know you are, because no matter what you do, you can move on with another energy. Tower moments be happening, and that you can't avoid it because it's part of your spiritual path. But the energy as per se, in a karmic sense, when we have disbelief in a chakra and we're thinking lack mentality or disempowerment, which is solar plexus as well, it pulls us back down to an old way of doing things, and we attract. The laws of attraction are to learn that lesson. They then end up in karmic partnerships, okay? But it's not the person. The person's not the issue. The belief system is the issue. So be it they were with you or be it they were with the karmic, they would embody the same frequency, and it would just be a really horrible energy to deal with. And when you both energetically can't do that, because we get into our ego and we're like, we can't do this, it's overwhelming, it then occurs with other people. So the lesson is inside your chakra systems and the spiritual blockages. So you will come to a realization. It won't matter who you're with, what you're doing, you can't run from it, and you will stop running. And the running is the internal energy. The running is your physical relation to that is really hurting me. I don't like it. I want to run. But what you're actually doing is running from the pain body experience. And I told my father this years ago. He said to me, that's it, I'm going to Cyprus, I'm running away. And I started laughing at him. God rest your soul. He's always with me. And I said, but you're going, okay? And he's like, what do you mean? Then I won't have any problems. And I went, the problems live inside you. If you have a belief system and you need to run, you can run for the hills, baby. They're following you because the beliefs, the feelings, the memories, it's overwhelming. And you will come to a humbling point in your life where you go, you know what? I've run so hard. I could have run the Great Wall of China. I can't avoid this conflict. It is in life. It is embedded in my DNA. It is embedded in a magnetic connection. I need to get to the point I face this adversity, walk through the fire and go, I'm never going to be afraid of this again. This will not define me. This will not hold me. This will not bind me. I will face these fears to a point. I will be like a Buddhist monk, and it will no longer affect my frequency. I will accept the fact that I can be like a tree and flow in the wind, and a tornado can be going around me, and I can be, isn't this lovely? It's for a moment. This too shall pass, and then pop out the other side. Because that's what you have control over is yourself. Now, the way you're looking at masculine at the moment is, again, this has come through twice. You've had this when it comes to the Ten of Cups energy. This might have been your mindset to do with relationships, what you want in a life, the belief in them and being ready for it. You potentially, maybe, you might have thought you were, okay? But what you're wanting to is to be ready for allowing love to come into your life. And it's interesting that Venus happens to be in Aries, and Aries is in Chiron, so the embodiment of the reality is, are you ready to open up to love, and what is the risk? And I think a lot of us at the moment are like, what will it mean if I open myself up to love? And it's like, are we selling ourselves to the devil because we love? Because again, the intuition means, do we have a good relationship with our intuition? Does that mean if I trust my intuition and I jump into this, vibration with this person, I'm going to feel all sorts of ways and they're going to pull the rug out from under me? Love can be for a week. I do a lot of coaching sessions with twin flames, and I'll be very... I have changed my approach with things because I want you to get where you need to be in life. you can have anything you want. You will have everything you want, but it's not want, it's a need. We need food, shelter, water. We need that. Anything else at an intimate level, I'm just going to be frank, we can sort ourselves. So when we are detached from the outcome, we vibrationally know the 10 of Cups should be occurring in our life at all times in duality. And once that happens, you appreciate it so much more. You put less pressure on each other because you're not telling each other what to do. You're not expecting someone to fix your problems. You're taking accountability. You're willing to build. You potentially might not come to the table equally, I'll be honest with you. But that's not due to the fact their intent and their respect and integrity isn't wanting that. It's due to circumstances surrounding life, right? Now, this is where you're having a light bulb moment. Now, masculines, you're hoping they have a light bulb moment with their life of what they need to do to achieve some of their things. This can be within your own career life as well, feminines, or a situation playing out in your life. But when it's tuning into that direct energy, you're hoping that what happens is they get the light bulb moment. And I do feel with Pisces energy coming through with Mercury, yes, that's possible. It's 12th house activation, providing they can actually get that download, because it will be linking in, and Giggle and I did talk about this. Pisces energy is massive download psychically. It's Neptune frequency. It's about the dream, how to achieve that. That's a lot. Now, if you're not grounded, that's going to feel all sorts of wow BS coming at you, and you're like, how do I look at this? There's a lamppost there. There's a buffalo there. There's a waterfall over there. How do I get there? Obstacles, okay? Gemini nodes coming up next month. We're still going to have Cancer Capricorn playing out, but it won't be in the nodal effect. It'll be the transfer. So we'll temporarily, I feel, we'll have 4 energies playing out in our minds, which I'll go into that next month. You're looking at them like they are going to need to cut through a situation, needing to have higher standards, needing to look at this, needing to actually choose what they feel is correct for them. And that's the reality. That's detachment. It's allowing them to actually look at their life and decide what is correct for them. Because you ultimately, when we get to an energy where we're playing chess with a human being, you need to understand that is like you're automatically relating to the situation, like manipulating the matrix. We can't manipulate it. It will be temporary. So your results will only be temporary. It will work for a short time, but it won't work indefinitely. And karmics relate to masculines this way. So don't waste your time, feminines. Anything that you feel you're worth, you will get. But if you need to somehow sugarcoat things, candy coat things, feel that you need to, did you know you're a twin flame? It's not going to cement it. It's, they need to embody that vibration themselves. You won't need to tell a person that. That's like trying to convince a love interest that you're the love of their life. And if you're doing that, you actually don't believe it yourself. That's embodiment. That's you coming into duality with yourself. And if you feel you have to convince someone, go back to your inner child and look at that, and it will be relating to your family from childhood. It's not you. It's not your fault. We all go through it. I've been through it myself. You've become like a transaction, and that will insult your intelligence at some point. You'll be like, no. I'm not a transaction. Potentially, mother, father energy in childhood may not have known that paradigm because of childhood wounds and therapy in this day and age and mindset and conditioning. We don't know that these are signals that we receive. This is an energy where this person, it's for their spiritual empowerment, and you want that person to choose themselves, their happiness. That was my highest goal for my masculine. Because when I came home to myself, I was like, oh my God, I've been running from myself all my life. Right? It's a disgusting feeling. You're mad at yourself. You're like, okay, you've tolerated far less and you're a Libra, right? You're balancing. Yin and yang is similar to being a Libra. You are trying to balance your masculine and feminine. Okay? Now, King of Swords energy, being able to see the clarity, being able to use their sword, being able to make decisions, trying to choose. It's like the stepping up, leveling up energy in order to do this, because you know what's it costs? Their spirituality, because they may have all the finances in the world. And in every read I did over the weekend, this is one thing that came through, and I swear this is what's going on with masculines. Masculines, you're not a bank. So frustrating. But feminines, you're not either, okay? We are soul. This is about, there's something missing. We all in our own energy are not defined by finances. And yes, we need to eat. Reality. Yes, we need to provide. Yeah, reality. But if it's to the cost of your health and your spirituality, those cups in the background ain't going to be worth sod. Do you know why? Because they'll get spent. Your hard work will be in vain if you don't have something to motivate you, and it's your spirituality, which is your peace, your sanity, your health, your vibration, the balance, people working with you. You can have the most beautiful castle, right? This is an empire. It's like 8 of Cups and background. It's like the empire you built. You could be in it right now, masculines. Right? And you're going, but I put up my energy in this. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you. I've been there. Having to pull that incy-wincy spider tower down. And going, wow, I put a whole lot of love and effort here. And it could be anything. Anything at all. It could be a belief system. It could be a home environment. It could be a bank account. It could be a plan, a map you had. And look, she's looking forward. Your intuition. Masculine's intuition is in feminine energy. With the Pisces frequency coming through. Being pulled in 2 directions. Looking to the future. Looking at it. And there's a castle. It's like, okay, what exactly is that castle you're trying to build? What is that dream, right, that you're trying to build? Going into hermit mode. Yes, masculines are going into hermit mode, but look, each step they move forward, there is no turning back. We all go through this in life, wishing we could have done things differently, needing to go into hermit mode to actually look at that, because, you know, the family, the life, the tree, the legacy, everything you've been building, 12th house is about finalising and alchemizing that spiritual sense in that. And with your movement at the moment, the delay in that with Mercury, you know, the 12th house is a very important place. It's very deeply spiritual. It is part of your awakening, you know, coming out of this awakened state. The 10 of Swords in reverse, like the 10 of Swords upright is you're going through it. Feminines, right? In the intuition, now up and out of the mind, in the reality sense of what just happened, what is about to happen. It's almost been given no options but to stop. There's no way backwards but to go forwards. There's physically no way. But it's the purity of that is the embodiment of the 12th house. It's godliness. It's, you know, and when we talk of peace, God, Gaia, source, you know, masculines at times, and that's not all masculines. And you know, sometimes when I talk to my twin about this, he's very, this is it, right? And I know that's not what he believes, but it's like as spirituality, even if you want to put it in black and white layman's terms, where is your inner peace? What is your intuition telling you? What do you strive for in life that is everything? It's your oxygen. That's your truth. That's your truth. And if you're working beyond that and we're pushing things under the carpet, that's temporary. It's always going to be temporary, masculine. Because what you're not doing, you're being so hard on yourselves, and you know that there's no turning back spiritually. We've been there ourselves. We're still in that ourselves now as human beings. Now with the Uranus and Taurus energy, it is making squaring aspects as well. So there is this energy between Venus, Mars squaring with Uranus and Taurus squaring the moon. Ooh, disgusting. Uranus Taurus brings change like 2.5, and Taurus just wants everything to be stable. Something is going to shift in the next 48 hours or come to our epiphany mindset. And that's on both sides of the fence, that that's not even possible, that it's been right under our nose and we haven't seen it. There is something that is going to have to change. Because this is not like hermit mode. We won't even have the ability, because there is going to be something that comes at left field that is going to test your faith in a give and take sense. You know, what are you giving to? Now, the Three of Cups coming up in reverse ain't cool. And this is on masculine side of the fence, be it you see them or not. Three of Cups, it may be you intuitively know that, you know, this external BS, and this could be happening in your life, feminines. And do you know how this can be playing out in your life? If you're in a karmic relationship and we're tuning into masculine energy, if you physically are in a karmic relationship and you're bound by finances and pretending that nothing's wrong, but you want to be spiritually happy and you're wanting potentially your masculine to give and take, this can be your energy embodied in a karmic partnership. It's the same thing, right? Because the clarification card to the Three of Cups is an old contract. How is the old contract going to affect the new contract? Again, if there's anything you can do, do it. But if there's not, you need to disconnect from that and just detach. Now, when I say detach, how do I put it? We can't change energy surrounding a human being. We can change the way we relate to it. Truth. These are burdens linking in on a person's side of the fence that they're carrying. Now, are you carrying them? Are they carrying them? Is this something going on in your life and you're looking at it? Because the clarification card is masculine soldiers. What you're fighting for. Are we fighting for burdens or are we fighting for life? And it's really a question, I think, that's coming up. Casualties of war, you know, Mars energy and Venus. What are the casualties in this situation? Are we needing to look at these casualties? Aries and Chiron. Where are the wounds coming from? Where are our belief systems coming from? Are we not making decisions due to the fact that we are enabling? Are we not making decisions based on, and that can be a masculine and feminine, it'll be on both sides of the fence, I'm being honest. Are we feeling that it is, that love cannot be? And love happens in all shapes and forms. And this is why I said this Venus is going to be really unique. It's having compassion. There could be finances, there could be homes, there could be loss, there could be passings, there could be children, companies going back. Do you know what I mean? It's like the love of, wow, that responsibility and the helping what we do. If you do anything for anyone, it's because you choose to do it, not because they owe you. And if you're doing it for that basis, you're in deep, deep trouble. You must, because if it went pear-shaped, you then feel robbed. You do things because you give, because you choose, and you have to take accountability for that. That's the accountable energy, the burdens, right? You're choosing it. It is what it is. But it takes, you know, it may be one is, you know, in general, there are a lot of burdens financially at the moment. And these are affecting every facet of life, every facet. Twin flame path, companies, infrastructure, governments, it's coming through, and Venus is in Aries. You know, fighting is causing more financial hardship. People not working with you is causing more financial hardship. It's like either which way, it's almost like the focus is coming down. And every reading I did in the last few days, every Divine Masculine's read has had a financial aspect to it. Now, inside your life, feminines, there is the masculine energy, which will be your partnership zone, the give and take, the solar plexus of give and take, empowerment, creativity. You're fair about that with the energy of the orange chakra. Your finances, looking at those things and looking at the give and take, the healthy boundaries, the what energy you're giving to, the old frequencies you're trying to tie up due to past tense situations. Now, surrounding their energy, in the karmic frequency, what you believe karmic energy is. Now, When I say karmic energy, try not to get too triggered by it. Try to pay it not too much, but more from a mindset of, okay, how can we look at this situation to learn something? Page of Swords in reverse. Okay. Again, this can be hearsay energy, very hearsay energy. Potentially hearing things through the grapevine, or not feeling like you guys don't know anything, but hearing snippets of things. There also could be a lot of people talking shit. Okay? And I'm feeling this is more surrounding divine masculines. There is a lot of toxic energies around them. Right? And this can even be on your side of the fence too, regardless, because we have feminine and masculine energy. So if this has been an ongoing saga and there's just lower frequency energies, it could be, again, due to finances, needing to owe people money, needing to pay bills, needing to actually tolerate those energies. And again, there's lots of conflict and fights. Again, money. I'm telling you, whatever's going on, it's the fight for survival, and it's so not romantic. It's so not romantic. It's temporary. Trust me, it is temporary. Knight of Cups energy. I feel that it's so weird. This is so weird. It's very ironic that when you do actually tune in, this is the only card that I feel is masculine on this side of karmic energy, and it is the Knight of Cups. Okay, now let me articulate why I feel this. There is a circle surrounding divine masculine. Now, your auric field may be, you feel these energies. And it's weird because this is a feminine read, and all that's coming through is your mindset to do with it, some situations potentially coming up for you, your needs, the way you look at relationships. And then, their energy is, and it's so weird, it's like they're ready to walk into a bloody storm. Look at that. They're like looking back at you going, am I going to be right? Look at this. Look at the tornado. And it's like the epiphany of, I've got to do this. I need to deal with this. I need to deal with this now. And they're very traditional, so they're like, how did I get myself in this pickle? Why, if I'm coming correct and doing certain things, do I keep getting this same situation? They need to protect their auric field. They're very, very strong, I'll tell you that, because, when I look at my divine masculine, I think, mate, I would have fucking tapped out ages ago. Not from my own life, I would have been like looking at it and go, oof. Yes, and I did find a very interesting fact out the other day. For those of you who are in the house that are fellow YouTubers, did you know that if you sing songs on YouTube, you can get a copyright claim? And, as a psychic medium, a fellow psychic medium, songs do come through to me in a frequency. So I'm going to have to find another way to do that because I'm not getting copyrighted. You can't even sing a song. Wow. Okay, now they're walking into the battleground. They're walking into the battleground. Look at them. They're like, here we go again. More. Again, look at the way I describe to you. Yes, I will. You know how many songs come through? I'll get lucky if I put the analytics in the video. Oh, I'm telling you, you guys have no idea what it is to be a YouTuber. It's disgusting. I love you, YouTube, but it's so much work. And we don't get paid for that. We literally depend on the gratitude of the subscribers. There's editing. 12 hours of recording for Zodiac signs. Editing, uploading, thumbnails, regular live sessions, clientele. Your whole month is full. You have no life. I'm telling you. Now, this turning back is very Saturn energy. Right? I need a secretary. That's what I need. Say I have him for my makeup on. It's like, look, you want the messages? I'm here to give you the messages. I love yous. Now, these cards they're very much masculine, right? He's going through that spiritual awakening. I do feel there's a lot of dark night of the soul energy going on. There is a blockage in the lower frequencies. He can't go back. He's working so hard. Walking forward, blocks falling, it's embodying Saturn, godlike Gaia energy, which is divine. He's coming into his divinity. The upgrade spiritually, we all go through this. When we're having a dissension, we are having an ascension. We're upgrading. And when it's really, really hard, it's like, oh my gosh, if I dive into that deep, dark ocean, the sharks are going to eat me. And look at that. He's like, am I going to have this? He's loyal. He's friendly. He's committed. He is all of these energies embodied. But he's battling, and he's constantly battling these things. But this battle is connected to him. I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. There's something coming up. He feels very isolated, but not. He's still very traditional. He has very traditional values, and it's to the detriment of his health at times. Because you can have the best. It's like, hey, I'm good. I had the ice cream. Mum said I'm going to have an ice cream. And then the ice cream truck breaks down. And they're like, but I'm good. So what's up in the hood? Why do I keep getting this happening? They have a decision to make, right? They have a decision to make. They're making plans. They're looking at it. And look at the Pandora's box that was dropped at their feet. 2 Swords. This is Gemini energy as well, by the way. That'll be happening between now and March. Time frames in the matrix. Future planning. A major decision has to be made, discovering a truth. And I do feel this is through the 12th house. And again, 12th house. And now we be calling me. Have you discovered it, baby? So this is what I call him. I'll have to hide the number. I call him the boss. The boss hubby. The boss. Yeah, it would be funny if like 10,000 or more subscribers decided to call my turn. Can we ask you a question? I have said to him a few times, you want to come live? And he's like, no. And I said, you motivate people? You do. He's done a lot of work on himself. So never, ever think your twin don't have this. It's ego. It's not real. Because 9 times out of 10, it means we feel we ain't got it. Okay? Or we're not worth it. You should be to the point. If you are in that loving frequency, whatever is going to make them happy, you embody love. You will be happy for that. As long as they're on the planet and you know they're happy and you know they're safe and well, you want that. The whole process of this will be for union, but the first point is to free you guys, both of you, from okay, to embody your truth, to upgrade other energies around you, to get to a point where you live in your truth, where you are the peace. So when you're in duality, you guys are going to be a fire couple. You'll be a fire couple. You will be able to help other people around you, and you will do anything. You will move hell and high water for humanity, but not to the detriment of your health. And if you do, there's no point. It's like the aeroplane's going down, peeps. What do they tell you? Put your gas mask on. Put your air mask on. Oh, no, but I've got to help this person, this person, this person. Enabling. You will not be there to help them. You check yourself. Always check yourself. It's an egoic experience. So you've got to stop and go, okay, where's my limit? I've reached my limit. Ooh. You are not a bad person if you do the best you can. You are not a bad person if you have a need. And if people are projecting that in a scattered gossip, bullshit, BS, crap mode, well, that's because they don't want to look at themselves in the mirror and take accountability for their responsibility, masculines. You could be projecting this towards your feminine, like it's her job to do things, but it's not. Every one of us as human beings has responsibilities, but other people around you have responsibilities, including karmics. They have responsibilities. And some of us will energetically look at it and go, but they're not able to. But that's enabling. That is enabling. Because you, in your ego, you believe you are better and you are self-righteous, you're better than them. No, well, it's for them to sort out. And if they can't step back, let them fall on their butts. And if they do, they will step up, because they're going to have to fake themselves and look after themselves and be accountable. It takes two to tango. It's the same as war. It takes two to tango, man. Someone could be the better person and go, right, okay, we could go in with bombs and all. But that's temporary, because at some point we're going to have to peel the Band-Aid off. And do we have a commonality here? You know, is it finances? Is it belief systems? Is it, you know, truth energy is temporary. Again, it's a Band-Aid. It's getting to the root cause of why these things are happening. And a lot of times it's ego, and it's land, or it's money, it's greed, it's belief systems. I had the analogy the other day, because I'm multicultural, and my mother had this idea, and she said to me, you need to talk to this person. I says, yeah, but they're not ready to talk. But that's okay. When they're ready, they'll talk. And of course, because my mother was Christian and my father is Muslim, I said to her, that's like getting a Muslim and a Christian in the room, which I'm both. I'm stuck cusp in the middle. And so now, before you leave this room, you must come to one belief system and then leave the room. And it's like, love each other enough to actually get, you have your truth, I have my truth. We can still walk away fairly and squarely. Okay, let's beg to differ and move along. Any questions in the house? This is interesting, that I do feel that what's going to come up is going to be something that is actually going to shove this forward, but it's going to be that it's squaring aspects, man. I'm telling you, it's squaring aspects. Yeah, I'm very, very, well, you're like, ugh. Still got the moon energy to do. Have a little bit of a break and I'll get majorly motivated. Look, my grass, if you saw my grass. Okay, I'm going to break my life down to you guys. I have started to plan writing a book, because I am deeply frustrated by some of the information out there in the collective. And it's not that it's wrong. I have discovered other facts. Other facts that, for union to be, they're facts you need to know. And I'm not going to pee in your pocket. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You can take it as light or as nice as you want, but they will get you there. And unless you do those things, you have to follow your intuition. Every aspect of that part of a spiritual path, you will not need the tag to define it. You will go through that process. You'll get to the point you will be going, am I the karmic? Am I the twin? Will it matter? Has that person kept coming to you? Is there a lesson? Simplify life. Is there a lesson? Hi, Dale. Now, with that lesson, if in theory, everything you need to do, you get then, okay, you're going to meet your twin first. Let's just break it down in context. And the problem is when people land on my channel, they're like, who is this person? I'm a twin who's in union, and I have been for a long time now. And yes, I've had makeups and breakups. I also have been in other connections. I also have been in karmic relationships. I also have been a psychic medium my whole life and didn't know I was a twin flame 4 years ago. So I had absolutely no ego connected to, I'm a twin flame, okay? Using what I have been through and looking back over 20 years of patterns is where I get my information from. You meet your twin flame. There is an energy. You may be repulsed by them. Then after that fact, there will be a draw to that person. It is part of your soul contract. You're supposed to meet them. And it comes at the most unlikely bloody time that is very inconvenient. Potentially a lot of feminines, you guys are deeply traditional. We can swap. We have same-sex twin flames. I don't promote. Love is love. So if you're trying to find something else here and that triggers you, sorry, not sorry. Anyway, so twin flame in general, masculine, feminine in body energy, same frequency, right? So you are kind of divided. So you go into a runner-chaser mode, okay? Go into a runner-chaser mode, you go into separation. And you're thinking, I can't get this person off my mind. You detach, you then move forward. You then get a phone call and they come back again, which is actually showing you how to manifest if you haven't worked that one out yet. Because detachment is self-worth. Detachment isn't, I'm going to be mean, so I'm just not going to answer you. Detachment is not that. Detachment is, I have no expectation. I have resolved to a fact that it's over. But what does over mean? Harder when you're further down in the journey because you're attached to a label. And that's why you guys struggle so much, because you're purging the bloody label. But I'm a twin, so it means I can never be with someone else. Well, if you're thinking about someone else, we will do super chat in a minute, but I'll answer the questions. You then will get to a point where, how do I put it? You'll have runner chaser mode going on. After runner chaser mode, if you pause, use your journey as a tool. Look back. When you broke up, were you pissed off at that point? Even though you may not have walked away, were you going to? Yeah. You were both running. Internally, you were going to tap out. Externally, they did you a favour. They did what you were feeling, because both of you were feeling the same. Overburdened, triggered, unable to communicate, feeling like you're playing a chess game. It's not rocket science. Look at your journey. It has clues in it. It's got clues in it. The things that I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating a package, and it's going to be short things I know, and blockages of codependency, rescuer, chaser, chakra systems, planets, your ascension symptoms, and I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to show you how to work through it. When you have a blockage in you, I'm going to show you how to make peace with it and get rid of it. And you can't get it out of you. So accept that. It's there. It's part of you now. Stop fighting it. How do I get it out? You can't. What, are we going to do plant to war energy and we're going to pull it out? No, but it won't govern you, because it doesn't govern you. It's when that channel's turned on, you're spiraling, and that's why nothing's moving. You also don't know that a lot of what is happening in your life, everything that happens in your life, there will be a pattern happening on their side of the fence, so you don't even need to be with them. You guys will come back together when you've had this epiphany moment and you're detached and you're in your life and you're going, fuck this shit. What am I doing? This and that's going on, blah, blah, blah. And you'll get a phone call. And you guys might have been single and just friends. And you will be going through the same thing because you have a soul contract. You're here for lessons and you teach people. Your node energy is part of your spiritual path. Part of mine is to actually be a spiritual healer for other people. I cannot be governed by cash, although I can to help the collective. But I also have to survive, so let's just get real. I mean, it's balance though. It's more the process, and to be a spiritual light worker, that has been my nodal energy of what I'm supposed to be. No wonder I got psychically attacked as a child. How do I validate super chat? Well, you could put it into my PayPal and I'll trust in your truth. Or you can put it directly through in the section here. I don't know. I particularly have never done it. I thought about doing it. Big shout out to the Leo King. I haven't watched this channel for a bit. I've been too busy. But I do truly believe watching this gentleman is going to be truly enlightening this year. Yeah. Any questions? The only thing blocking, okay, detachment is the key to union. Detachment. So if you have not made peace and you're still wondering what they're doing, wonder and look. But this is what I mean by detached. Detached in a sense that when you see a reading, you're not going, that they haven't done this. It shouldn't define you. You haven't made peace with it. While it is there something going on? I used the analogy the other day. If we're in a mind state where we feel trapped and we want someone to save us, Rapunzel, let your hair down. That's inner child, mother, father, right? And when we have that And we're not, twin flames were made for greatness. I'm just going to be honest with you. Go and look at Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. Do you know why she's in alignment now? She went through the dark night of the soul. She's tapping into it. It's very important to be able to speak our truth, but it's also extremely important to advance and not allow an excuse to stop you from being the brightest star in the sky. Okay. No, that's because the Leo King is a twin. That's why he's going through this transition. I love you, Leo King. You're such a sweetie. I see your light. He has a very important mission on this planet. He is, most beautiful soul. Most beautiful soul. He's purging at the moment, but he will do it fine. It's going to be hard for him. He's a Leo anyway, and the Leo full moon. It's like he's going to be on fire this year. He's going to be on fire. Yeah, and it's funny because he bounces between twin flames aren't real. And look, I don't even connect the tag. I mean, to me, I don't need a tag. That's where I am spiritually, where I am. Because you kind of get stuck. You're like, especially if you look at your whole journey and then you get the tag and you're like, I'm screwed. Like, this is going to be forever, forever. Forever, ever. I can't have a normal life. No, forever. Well, you weren't anyway. So even if you didn't know you were, you'd be in the same frequency. So if somebody said to you, if you went to a reader and said there's no such thing as twin flames, the way you can look at it is, if we don't need, you'll be my secretary. Oh. If we don't need the tag, right? How do I put it? The ascent, once you've reached a certain point, you will get that much psychic attack because you've opened up your crown, you've opened up your chakra systems. You're guided to, some will actually say to you, send love and light. Don't. No. And you'll know why. You'll start getting very sick. It's like being a permanent psychic on tap. Would I promote that as a psychic medium? No. Ask any psychic medium. You go into a room and you're doing a reading, what are we told? Go and clear those cards. If I don't clear those cards, is that reading going to be about you? No. Those cards are going to embody the energy of every frequency and it's going to look like poo. So while you're tuning into your masculine, you are effectively being a psychic medium. You are tuning into their energy. So when we say send love and light, are you in the frequency in love and light? And have you had Pandora's box of your crown chakra open at all times? Because what you're doing is, if they have toxic energies around them, and this happens to everyone, guys, you are tuning into a physical person. They're an energy. It's dangerous. It's not a game to play with. You need to know how to use your gift. You need to be taught how to protect your auric field. Hello, newbie. So when we're tuning in, and I noticed this to be true, and in the early stage of my journey, because I was psychic, I didn't really know anything about twin flame. I was just, developing my psychic gift. So intuitively, when I would connect in with my twin, I always knew what was going on. You can't hide shit from me. But I'm not the type of person who wants to know. It's signals. I get telepathic signals of danger, panic, sadness, other things that are quite personal. I won't tune into because they don't define me. And I will do that even with my clientele. I respect your auric field. You must ask me to tune into you. If I get a message and my guides are telling me I must tell you, yes, that's evolved. But when you're physically thinking on an energy, this is how it works. You could be at the crappiest of places, triggered, right? And you're tuning into an energy. You're thinking of them. That's all you need to do, thinking of them. And then whatever is in their environment, you have tapped into. When you've tapped into that, if you don't close that off, you embody that frequency. So all their Pandora books, demon energy comes in. That can be their belief systems, their ego, their pain body experience. You've opened up that channel and you will purge for them. You will purge for anyone. You will get to the point. It will be like a toilet needing to be flushed. So you need to have the tools to know how to do that. So I will try and do those videos. I've always said. Now, if that happens, breathe in. Blow out. Get a smudge stick. Do it a few times, but do it calmly. If it's really heavy, blow it out. And don't be thinking of them when you're doing it. Blow the energy out, whoever it is. Then get your smudge stick and clear your chakra. And then tune into something. It can be a pen. It can be about something else. And you mustn't. Don't be naughty. Tune into something else. This is to protect you. When you've done that, you then hold space and you keep busy for a few minutes doing something better. Drink some water to flush it, or go and have a shower. If it's very toxic, cold shower. And clear your house because you've allowed it. Because when you're looking at teleportation, you're not flying through the sky, okay? I remember when I was trying to fine-tune my psychic energy, I was like, ugh. I was like, what's this, you know? It happens through your third eye, okay? I laugh at the process because mine was active from childhood, and it was like, what is this? They'd be coming up in my grill in my bedroom. I don't like this. I want them to go away. And they wouldn't leave. They'd be like looking at me. We had telepathically communicating with me. You can see us. And I'll be like, oh, shit. Here we go. And you can be actually frozen in bed. The bedroom can turn quite blue like this. Did you know that? Did you know this light here? This is what you see, right? If you are having a psychic attack and you're in your bedroom, you will be in a deep sleep and you'll come to, and you will have this embodiment of fear coming through, and you'll know something's in the room. You don't even need to see them. You'll be like, and you will not be able to move. You may go into a sweat. The room will be cold. You will also notice frost coming out of your mouth, okay? The energy has paused. They have stilled the energy inside the room, but because your third eye is activated, it doesn't work on you. You don't go into a sleep. Your intuition senses the frequency. You wake up into that, and you're in two realms. You have witnessed the other side, and it's in the 3D. It's always here. You're just not looking. When that happens, you may very well see a person in physical full form. And when that happens, when they make eye contact with you, you're in deep shit. Because they're like, you will hear what they are saying in your mind's eye. And even by reading the body language of the person, you can see me. Oh. And we have a problem for you. Now, you will have to tell them to leave the room, especially if you're not trained. Especially if you don't know how to deal with it, and you're all sorts of ways. You're like, get away from me. Wake me up. Am I asleep? Am I awake? Yeah, because we don't have the ego connected, so there can be shadow power. And look, I've been thinking about this, and the realm's pretty thin at the moment. And the further into your ascension process you get, you will become a psychic medium. So it's managing that, and it's knowing how to deal with it. They have a problem. It will be in an energy. You may meet the person that is related to them. You may actually, and the solution will come to you, but it's you fine-tuning your psychic gifts. So they've come to you to teach you. But it's also who you are. You can't shut it down. It won't go away. And it will come in ebbs and flows. When you're very 3D, it'll go away, but it won't be away. You just won't be seeing it. But it's also very dangerous if you don't learn to use it, because if your auric field's down and you're on toxicity, or you're drinking alcohol, or you're taking drugs, your auric field's down. When your auric field's down, you're susceptible to psychic attack. And during your ascension process and your twin flame journey, you are deeply, deeply at the end of your journey very susceptible to psychic attack. So being in love and light, if you ain't in that vibration and you're really low, you mustn't tune into them. You mustn't. It will make you very, very sick. And it helps with their ascension to detach. But you need to embody truth, that person's soul, sending faith in your mind and detaching from your ego and saying, I know this person has it. I'm not stronger than any human being on this planet. I know this human being can take this challenge. I respect this human being to deal with this this karmic cycle, okay? Because spiritually speaking, you will even know when an energy is on you thinking about you. You'll know it. You'll feel it in your auric field. You'll feel some sort of way. Any questions? Antonella, thanks, second day. You have a special appointment today. Why am I seeing a coffee shop? What's for the coffee shop? Okay, well, I have been on here a while, and people will be looking at this feminine reading going, wow, this is really long. And that's sort of how it goes, you know. It's almost lunch. I will have to love and light and leave you. Make some plans. Make a phone call to my boss hubby. And I will return later. Okay, doll. Love and light, guys. I'll be back a bit later. If you're wanting a booking, link below.